3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Horror Chronicles, a spine-chilling YouTube channel that unveils the darkest mysteries of the past. Today, we embark on a journey to Derinkuyu, an ancient underground city hidden beneath the surface of central Anatolia in Turkey. This marvel of history, known as the City of the Jinn, captivates archaeologists and enthusiasts alike with its enigmatic origins and breathtaking complexity. Join us as we delve into the depths of Derinkuyu, where eerie tales of survival, ancient engineering, and supernatural whispers intertwine. Brace yourself for a bone-chilling exploration of a city that defies explanation on the Horror Chronicles. To stay updated on all the latest realistic horror stories, please subscribe to my channel and check out the previous stories if you haven't already. By subscribing, you will receive notifications for future updates. So please hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoy this video, I kindly ask you to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let's aim to reach 2,000 likes together. City under the city. Derinkuyu is one of the wonders of history. The traces of ancient human life thousands of years ago were, and still are, the focus of interest and admiration for archaeologists and many people we find fond of such discoveries, whether these discoveries are a large city, scattered parts here and there, or even a small and worn-out toll thousands of years old. The interest and admiration for these antiquities does not lie as much as it lies in the silent mystery hidden behind crumbling walls that raises confusion in the soul and raises many questions about the nature of the lives of those who once lived behind them. Questions that we will not find the answer to except in contemplating a miracle called time that refuses to stop. In one of the many stations of life that he passes through, and the travelers land and rest, as a traveler, whose travel has exhausted him from the length of the path. An integrated underground city consisting of many floors. As long as time is stingy for us to wait a bit, let us be kind and let us go back in time, specifically to the year 1963 in a region in central Anatolia, in Turkey, where the strangest and most amazing discovery in the world was announced, which is the discovery of a giant archaeological city, which is Derinkuyu underground city, and its construction dates back to the 7th and 8th centuries BC, according to what was stated by the Turkish Ministry of Culture. And the reason for the strangeness of this city is that it was not built above the surface of the earth, or excavated in a distant mountain, but rather it was built under the surface of the earth, in an innovative engineering manner that is very complex and accurate. And Derinkuyu is considered one of the most important archaeological discoveries. Amazing! Which represents a great challenge for any civilization of the ancient world. People called it the City of the Jinn because of its strangeness. Derinkuyu means the deep well because of its large size and long depth under the ground, and given that the ancient inhabitants of the city did not possess any kind of modern technology, as well as their lack of advanced mechanisms, making archaeologists fall into confusion because of their lack of explanation of how this city was built. The huge city without the use of any method of modern engineering construction. So it was believed among the people that the Jinn were the ones who built the city and called it Derinkuyu, the City of the Jinn. Derinkuyu City Building. Derinkuyu, the strange city of Jinn. The city is completely built in the middle of the rocks. Before addressing the construction of the city, let us take a simple idea of the nature of the rocks that make up the city. Millions of years ago, a large volcanic eruption occurred. This eruption resulted in very large quantities of volcanic ash. Large amounts of this ash were deposited in the form of layers, one after the other, and in succession of years, these layers hardened, forming rocks known as igneous rocks. These volcanic rocks are the main feature that characterizes the earth layers of the city of Derinkuyu, and it should be noted that these rocks are of medium hardness. And it seems that ancient inhabitants of Anatolia were so intelligent that they noticed this feature, which is medium hardness, which they exploited for their benefit in building and digging houses and large cities in the mountains and under the surface of the earth, of course. For the ease of digging in these volcanic rocks, and strong and solid pillars and supports were formed from these rocks to support the layers of the earth above them. In addition to that, the erosion factors had a major role in carving strange and distinctive shapes in the terrain features on the surface of the earth for this region. Sculpture and construction are very elaborate, which is surprising compared to the available tools at that time. We now come to the engineering design of the city. And there is no doubt that the main element in any building is the strong and solid foundation. We have to take into account that the city is composed of several layers, that is, it is possible to imagine it as a huge and spacious building stationed in the ground, and according to what the engineers who examined the city stated, that it is very elaborate, which makes it difficult for the mind to comprehend the way it was built. It can accommodate thousands of people in a time of adversity and danger. The city of Derinkuyu is located at a depth of 85 meters below the surface of the earth, and it consists of 11 floors. There are floors that have not been discovered yet. And it contains many housing with large and spacious areas, which in turn contain many rooms of different sizes, including small and large according to the use of each of them, and they are well equipped, complete with all means of comfort and safety. And these spacious dwellings are sufficient to accommodate about 20-50,000 people, men, women, elderly, and children. Also, the people of the city did not forget to bring their animals with them. So they built stables in places designated for domesticated animals, such as cows, chickens, etc. As for how to provide the necessary supplies for life, they are as follows. 1. Ventilation. The city contains more than 50 main ventilation columns. These columns bring fresh air from the top, and it is distributed throughout the city by sub-columns that branch out from the main columns, which facilitate the entry of air into the lower layers of the city and its distribution among them. Special skylights to freshen the air and keep the air fresh and free from corruption. Deep descending columns play a role in bringing air and light down. 2. Food. Among the many rooms that the city contained, there were rooms designated for storing food in very large quantities, in addition to the presence of olive presses, wine presses, many kitchens equipped with cooking supplies, and the presence of dining rooms spread throughout the city. And the relatively stable temperatures below the surface contributed to earth to keep foods from rotting and spoiling. 3. Water. The availability of water supplies and wells contributed to the provision of fresh water for the population, as well as the formation of a comprehensive water system consisting of 52 wells. The village, located above the surface of the earth, has water as well. And it is not too late for the residents of the city to connect these wells in a smart way, so that they do not connect with each other, and do not all rise to the surface of the earth. This method protects the residents from the possibility of water poisoning from the outside. There are rollable stone doors to close the tunnels and passages. For safety, of course. The main and basic purpose of building Derinkuyu city is to escape and hide from enemy attacks during the periods of war that affected the region, and that the residents of the city designed it on the basis of providing safe supplies in it, and each floor was connected to the next floor through long corridors. And these corridors, they are connected to heavy stone doors weighing between 2,00500 kilograms. and their lengths range from 1 meter to half a meter, and their width reaches half a meter. These stone doors are in a circular or cylindrical shape that can be rolled. One of the safety features is that these doors are locked from the inside only, and cannot be locked from the outside. The process of opening and closing it is very easy, so that one person can do this task alone in an innovative way, by means of a wooden support in the hole in the center of the stone. It is noted that the city's corridors are narrow, so that people are forced to pass through them individually, one by one, and this method makes defense against enemies easier. An 80-kilometer-long corridor linking the city of Derinkuyu with another underground city was discovered in Kaimakli. And this is evidence of interdependence and cooperation, security between Derinkuyu and the civilizations that preceded it. The builders of the city took everything into account, including large meeting halls and places of worship. 5 houses of worship. It seems that the residents of the city of Derinkuyu were keen to perform their religious rituals through the presence of many places designated for worship. As there is on the 2nd floor of the city, spacious room with an arched cylindrical roof. This room was used as a religious school. As for the rooms located to its left, they were used as study rooms, and between the 3rd and 4th floors, there is a vertical staircase that leads to a church on the 5th floor. In addition to the presence of a number of cemeteries that were designated for the burial of the dead residents of the city. The history of the construction of the city. Derinkuyu, the strange city of Jinn. The rocky city was a haven during the wars. It is not known exactly when the city was built, but as stated by the Turkish Ministry of Culture, the first stages of building the city were between the 7th and 8th centuries BC. Their capital is the Phrygians Gordium, and they settled in the southern Balkans before they migrated to Anatolia after the demise of the empire of the Phrygians. The city expanded by the Byzantines during the fierce wars that erupted between the Byzantines and the Persians too, and the city was used as a safe haven for the inhabitants to protect their lives from the attacks that affected their city. And the Byzantines added churches and Greek inscriptions to the city of Derinkuyu, which contained many antiquities and tools that it dates back to the Byzantine period. Likewise, the conflict that took place between the Byzantines and the Arabs III, which ended with the departure of the Byzantines from the areas they controlled and their settlement in Anatolia. Then wars broke out between the Byzantines and the Ottomans IV, and ended with the fall of the Byzantine Empire with the fall of Constantinople. Turkey has several areas built in the heart of the rocks, including Kaymakli. Wars continued after that between the Ottomans and the Tatars led by Tamerlane, until the conflicts in the region ended with the fall of the Ottoman Empire led by Mehmed VI in 1922, and the proclamation of the Republic of Turkey led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. And the city was open to visitors and the tourists in 1969, 6 years after its discovery. All these conflicts and fierce wars that lasted for many centuries, and the city of Derinkuyu lies under the surface of the earth, protecting the lives of many residents who found refuge and safe haven under the surface of the earth against the political hatreds and military crises spread over the surface of the earth.